All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to cover real quick is I'm just going to make a quick thing on what the unit circle is. First of all, we talked about we've talked so far about initial and terminal sides with angles, right? And what we based everything off of was what we call, x and our y-axes, right? X and y-axis. Then what we talked about, though, is we talked about angles. If you're going to have, remember, it's a rotation. An angle is a rotation of rays about a fixed point, which we call our vertex. Now, one thing we talked about is if I have my ray and I rotate a ray halfway around a circle, which was 180 degrees, in radians, we talked about that. The distance of that rotation in radians was how much? How many radians? Well, 180 degrees, but how many radians was it? 3.14159, going on and on forever, which we called pi, right? So then if I continue all the way around, all right, then we called that whole rotation of my two rays, this whole angle would have been 2 pi, right? All right, very good. So what is the unit circle? Well, the unit circle is, if you guys notice, what we did was just by rotating these rays all the way around, what we did was we created a circle. And I don't really like the circle. Let's see if I can kind of fix it a little bit. Does that look a little bit better? All right. So what we did is we created a circle. All right. Now, the unit circle is a special type of circle. And the unit circle is going to be a circle where you can see we have certain points on this circle. Right? So what the unit circle is remember we talked about here's our radius, right? And then when we have our radius, then you wrap your radius around your circle, you have a radian, right? That's how we got pi radians, and then all the way around was 2 pi radians. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to talk to you about is on the unit circle, let's look at this as our xy axis. And let's just purely look at it that way. Let's pretend that my radius, all right, is going to have a radius of 1. So if my radius was 1, the beginning of a unit circle, which you're going to want to make sure you have at least written down, is your first 4 points of your unit circle are going to be at 0, negative 1. So that point is 1, 0. This point 0, 1, negative 1, 0, and 0, negative 1. Does everybody follow me so far with that unit circle? That's pretty much the basics of a unit circle. It's pretty much when you have a whole circle and with a radius of 1. All right, we're going to get into a lot more about this unit circle in a second. I just want to make sure that everybody understands what we have so far. All right? Yeah, you can fill it in right there if you like to.